If you have been a victim of an online scam or online fraud, you probably are wondering, what do I do now? If you sent somebody thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you're starting to either suspect or be sure that it's a scam, it's a Ponzi scheme, you lost your money, you're probably at a loss. What do I do now? You're maybe scared. Well, here are the 4 steps that are part of a fraud investigation and recovery of lost funds. There's 4 things that happen in this order, and they have to happen, all of them, in this order. Otherwise, you'll never get your money back. So before we get into those 4 steps, first make sure that you've reported this to the FBI or IC3, that you make sure that you don't send any more money, and you make sure that you don't send any more private information, like you don't give people copies of your license or your credit card or your bank account to these scammers. Make sure you lock that down. And if you feel like your personal safety is at risk, take appropriate methods there, maybe with law enforcement. But once you've reported it, look, don't expect that FBI or IC3 is going to drop everything and jump on your case. They don't do that. And it's not their fault. It's not that they're inept. It's that they're more interested in larger crimes. But if you do log it into their system, if for some reason this Ponzi scheme or fraud turns out to be a much bigger thing and they clamp down on it even 2, 3, 4 years from now, at least you'll be recognized as a victim of that scam. But what do you do in the meantime? Well, if you want to, you can take these steps in order to do a fraud investigation and recovery. All of these have to be done. Number 1, you have to identify the actual true party identification of the scammers. They use fake names. They use fake emails, fake phone numbers, even fake addresses. Now look, we've covered this in videos before, but there's a new wrinkle now with filing the legal documents that maybe will make it easier for you. So stay tuned for that. So as we've talked about before, step 1 is you have to identify who it is. You can't recover money from somebody who you don't know what it is, who they are. That money's in a bank account somewhere. It's in crypto somewhere. It's existing in some account. Unless you know who it is and what the account is, good luck getting the money. You can't grab it from an unknown place, right? So you have to identify who they are. Next, you need to asset search that identity. So if it's a company, if it's a person, if it's a group of people, you need to find out what the location of their assets are. Bank accounts, crypto platforms, real estate, cars, whatever all their assets are. And don't leave any out. If you just say, well, I just want to look at their bank accounts, these people might sweep their accounts every day and leave nothing in there because they know that you're really looking for them. They might shift their crypto around so you know you're looking for them. They don't leave cash. People who are scammers use the cash for something. They buy real estate. They buy vehicles. They spend it on other assets. They convert it to other asset classes. You have to find those, because if you're just relying on, I'll find the bank account, might be nothing there. There might be, but you have to accumulate all the assets everywhere. That's step 2. Asset search all of them. And for more details on how to get this done, or instructions to do it yourself, or if you want help from us to do it, check out our website. We can do consulting, we can do the search for you, we can do all kind of stuff. But check out the website, Active Intel, and you'll get more information about these steps. Here's step 3. This is the important thing. Once you find out who the actual identity is, no matter what country they're in, if they're in the US, if they're overseas, if they're in Europe, if they're in Eastern Europe, if they're in Asia, you need to find out who they are. You need to find their assets. Bank accounts, crypto, vehicles, real estate, whatever they are, corporate assets. Before you can go grab those assets, you can't just walk into a bank. Let's say they keep their money in HSBC and say, hey, HSBC, this scammer stole my money. Give it back to me. HSBC is not going to give you the money. Bank accounts are protected. You can't go in and rob a bank at gunpoint and say, give me their money. You can't hack into a bank account. Bank accounts are highly protected. Crypto accounts are highly protected. Real estate, you can't just grab somebody's real estate based on your say-so. Who the heck are you to tell the bank that their customer's a scammer? They don't know that. Oh, I got emails, I got text message. That means nothing. You have to have a formal document authorizing the bank to do it. Not only authorizing, but forcing them to do it. Good news for you is there is such a document. It's called a writ of garnishment. Now, remember, we're not attorneys. We're not giving you legal advice. We're not trying to pretend we're a law firm. We're investigators. But this is a legal process. You need to have a writ of garnishment from a legal authority that directs that holder of the asset, the bank, the real estate clerk, the titling authority for a vehicle, the crypto platform, that forces them, directs them to disgorge the assets and give it to you. Without that document, you have nothing. You could find a bank account with $20 million in it. Without some legal authority that you give to the holder of that asset that makes them give it to you, you got nothing, and you never will have anything. Don't be fooled by people who advertise, I'm a hacker, I'll get the money, send us $20,000 and we'll get your money back. Send us $10,000. It doesn't work that way. Assets are protected, because if a hacker could just steal any money they wanted by you giving them $10,000, why would they need to get your $10,000? Why wouldn't they just hack the bank account and keep the money for themselves? Think about it. If this scammer has $1 million in the bank, and this hacker, so to speak, has the ability to go into that account and just take the money out on your say-so, why do they need your $10,000? Why don't they just do it and keep the money? Right? It doesn't make any sense. The reason that we say that is there are lots of companies in all different countries of the world that advertise, hey, we'll get your money back, scam recovery, and they charge huge upfront fees. Huge upfront fees. Plus they say we'll take a percentage. Well, unless they can explain to you very clearly how they do it, you have to think it's another scam trying to take more money out of you. Why do these companies advertise? You've already been proven to be susceptible to be a victim of a scam. You've already demonstrated that you can be talked into giving money for a good story. Hate to say it, we're not trying to talk badly of you. These people are skilled. They're slick. They're clever. They know exactly what to say. They know exactly how to promise big returns on your investment. They know exactly how to work the language. They do this hundreds of times a day. They polish it. Watch the movie Wolf of Wall Street. They have a script. They know how to talk on the phone. They know how to talk by email. They know how to kind of use the Jedi mind tricks on you to get them to send you money. Let me guess. You sent them some money. Then they sent you a big statement that said, hey, you sent us $11,000. Congratulations. Your account now has $20,000 because it went up in value. If you send us $10,000 more, we'll make it go to $50,000. Oh yeah, here's $10,000 more. You send them $10,000. They show you now an account with $50,000 in it. Wow, I'm making all this money. Look, accounts that are over six figures, over $100,000 as a balance, automatically get double returns. So if you send us another $50,000 on top of the $50,000 you already have, you'll go from $100,000 to $200,000. Oh my God, you get caught up in the ether. You get caught up in all the excitement and the profit and the greed. So you send them another $50,000. And at some point you might get a little skeptical, or you might want some of your money, and you'll tell them, look, I want to take my money out. Well, now you have to pay taxes. Now you have to pay an audit fee. Now you have to pay a commission. Sound familiar? These are the techniques that they use to get you to send more money. They make up any excuse they want. They'll keep making up excuses to get another $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 out of you, just to keep the suction going of your money. They know what to say. The scammers who promise to get your money back know what to say to you too. How do you determine who's a scammer, who's not? Well, start by finding out how legitimate they are. Do they have a license? Investigative agencies in almost every country are required to have an investigator license. Don't take their word for it. Look it up. Have them tell you their license number, where it is. If it's in the U.S., it's issued by a state. If it's in other countries, it's issued by the federal government. Look up their license. Are they licensed? If they're not, what does that tell you? Look up their address. Do they have a street address that's an actual office, that's a physical location, not just a mailbox? And you want to verify that too. We've seen some companies that put down, hey, our average is 120 Broadway in New York City. Well, make sure they're actually in that building. They just didn't look up an address on Google Maps. There's a way you can do that for about $20 or $30 to verify that a company is in a location they say they are. You can check out our website how to do that. If you're going to send somebody $20,000, $30,000, at least spend $20, $30 to make sure that they're actually in the place they say they are. Check out their phone numbers. How long have you been in business? Check out their website. How long has it been there? You can go back in time and look at the historical presence of a website. using Wayback Machine. You can see what that website looked like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 3 years ago. If the website didn't exist up until 60 days ago, you know you have a problem. Because scammers can't leave a website around for too long because they'll get bad reviews. And people will say, hey, this place took my 20 grand and they're no good. They just open up a new website. Looks good, very flashy, slick, good pictures, stock photos of executives, right? Verify that, because we've seen so many times somebody lost $100,000, $200,000 on an investment and then lost another $20,000 to some proposed or supposed investigator that's going to get their money back. Doesn't work that way. Make sure it's for real. Certainly, there's legitimate investigative agencies. They have licenses. They can tell you how they're going to go about doing this. They're legal. They're professional. They have an office. We're an example of that, but we're not the only one. There's plenty of places that can do it. Make sure, though, that the agency you deal with specializes in this, that they know what they're talking about. Look, you can talk to somebody on the phone for 5 minutes, and you know if they know what they're talking about or not. We offer even a 20-minute video consultation where you can talk to somebody face-to-face and have their undivided attention. You can ask them any question you want. Doesn't matter even if you don't buy anything, or we're not going to try to sell you anything. We're just going to tell you what it takes to do your investigation and what the odds are. What are the chances you're going to get anything from it? If it's nothing, we will tell you that. We don't want to do cases where the client gets nothing because we have too many cases to do as it is. So if you're going to spend money to have somebody do an investigation, make sure that they're legit. Now let's get back to the 4 steps. Step 3 is you have to get that writ of garnishment from a legal authority. If it's in the U.S., it's from a magistrate or a judge or a court. If it's outside the U.S., you can do letters rogatory to get it domiciled there. Again, not attorneys, not legal advice. Check this on your own. But what we can do now is we can prepare, based on your request, the petition that you need to file with the court. We can even file it with the court for you. Now, you're going to have a hearing date. We can't go. Can't go. You have to go. The only person that can go to a court hearing on your behalf is somebody who's a licensed attorney. If they're not a licensed attorney, they're breaking the law by going to court. It's called UPL, unlicensed practice of law or unauthorized practice of law. Can't do it. So it's easy, though. You go to court with your documents. You tell the judge what happened. You give him your documentation showing it's a fraud. The documentation's from your investigation. Here's the identity. Here's the assets. It's signed by a licensed investigator. Give me a writ of garnishment. And if they approve it, you take that now, you go to HSBC and slam it on the counter and say, give me my 80 grand. Give me my $120,000. Now, the bank has to do what the judge tells them. The bank is now directed, forced, dictated to them by a judge that they have to do this. You walk into a bank saying, your customer scammed me, give me 100 grand. They're going to laugh in your face. But you got a judge's order of garnishment, game over. They have to do it. They don't have a choice if it's correct and accurate. So put the law on your side, put authority on your side, so you have somebody behind you. You're not all by yourself out there losing money with no redress. Don't fall victim, though, to one of these scams. Matter of fact, some of these supposed asset recovery companies are really the same company that scammed you, especially if you didn't find them, they found you, right? You get scammed for $80,000, and all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, you get an email, hey, by the way, we can help you recover scam money. Well, how do they know who you were? You know how? The scam company has another division that sends out messages to people that got scammed because they know that you need this. And they know also what your psychology is, how to part you and your money. Hopefully that's helpful. Those are the 4 steps. We can assist with all of them. Or you can do it yourself. You don't have to pay anything for it. If you're already out too much money and you don't want to put any more money out, you can do it yourself. That way you don't put any money at risk. If you want to pay somebody, it shouldn't cost more than, a few $100, $1,000. Maybe if you want to go all in, $1,500, $1,800. You shouldn't be spending tens of thousands of dollars to work on this because you're just throwing good money after bad. So look at the options you have. If you want more information, you can schedule a private one-on-one consultation where you have the direct attention of an investigator. and get to the bottom of your case and see what options you have. Let us know what you think in the comments.